France 1, Paraguay 0. Not the game I expected, man. I expected France to dominate and blow Paraguay out the park. I did not expect this cagey, ugly type of game. A lot of gamesmanship, you know. Paraguay trying to get on the France skin, basically. Paraguay knew. They know France are the better team. They got the better players, more quality, more talented players. They knew that. So how are you going to beat them? Force them into mistakes, force them to do silly things, maybe get sent off. Paraguay only had 24% of the ball all game. 5 shots, 1 on target. But France, even though they had 76% of the ball, only had 15 shots with 5 on target. And it wasn't like Orlando Hill was like tested on many occasions. There was one time when Mbappe had like a double chance. That's the only time I could really remember the keeper getting tested. Apart from that, it was just a game played in the midfield, a scrappy game, an ugly game, a very disjointed type of game where Paraguay were hoping to take this thing all the way to 120 minutes and to penalties, just like they did against Germany. That's how they beat the Germans. Germany got caught in a trap. Once Paraguay got that goal, yeah, they were definitely going to take that game to 120 minutes. But against France, they couldn't really muster up anything meaningful going forward to really trouble the French defense. Or anytime they tried, Upamecano dealt with it. Upamecano had a solid game. Didier Deschamps had to do something. Bradley Barcola, I don't think he had a shot at goal. And that is like strange. To keep Olise quiet, to keep Dembele quiet, and to keep Barcola quiet, and Mbappe. Listen, that ain't easy. But Paraguay did it up until the substitution was made. Desiree Doué came on. France only made, I think, 2 subs, which is really weird. 2 subs. You know, that's how cagey this game was. Didier Deschamps couldn't risk it. He's like, yeah, I don't want to make too many changes, mess up, and, you know, allow Paraguay back in the game. So, change made, Doué gets taken down in the box. On VAR review, was deemed that he was fouled by the Paraguayan player. Points to the spot, Mbappe stepped up, put it in the back of the net. I think Mbappe is now tied on goals for this World Cup with Messi. So the Golden Boot race is hot. It's hot. And I think he has 1 less total for all World Cups. So it's quite intriguing, the battle for the, most goals. Mbappe would have another chance at coming to the World Cup. Messi, I don't know. I doubt. Unless he plays the World Cup at 43. Which, I don't know if that's going to happen. But France was tested on the day. They were really tested. And they passed the test. They passed the test. And you got to commend France for that. They were patient. They didn't get drawn in, sucked into Paraguay's game. And they survived and got that goal. And that's all they needed. Once they got the goal, that was it. Paraguay were never going to get back into that game. So France again proving too good for their opponent. A different type of game. Not a game where France dominated in terms of the attacking prowess. But it was more of a chess match. Or you could say it was something different. They were faced with a different beast on the day. Who's going to stop France? Who's going to stop him? They play Morocco in the quarterfinals. And Morocco, in my opinion, doesn't look too good going into the quarterfinals. With Saibari picking up an injury. I don't think Saibari is going to be fit for that game. But who knows? Let's see. And I think that will be a huge miss for Morocco. You can't write off Morocco, but it's going to be a different type of game. France are favorites, of course. So they look poised to making it to another semi-final and even a final, you know, to meet maybe Argentina. Who knows? Who knows?